A high-stakes diplomatic meeting took place this week between Russian President Vladimir Putin, Chinese President Xi Jinping, and North Korea's leader Kim Jong Un. And it seems to be showing a shift in global power dynamics. Political scientist and expert in authoritarian regimes, Lynette Ong, joins us now to discuss this further. Welcome, Lynette.
Thank you for having me.
What is the significance of this meeting? Why now, and why these three leaders?
I think Xi is trying to send two messages across the world. One is to showcase the strength of the People's Liberation Army, how strong his military is now, which is a telltale sign of China coming onto the world stage at a very loud. It's a very loud message to the world. Secondly, I think it is meant to to show a symbolic unification between China, North Korea, and Russia. It's a challenge, I think, to the US-led world order under Donald Trump. But I also want to preface that, this particular remark by Xi Jinping actually jumps out at me. He said that today humanity is again faced with a choice of peace or war. The Chinese people firmly stand on the right side of history. China will never be intimidated by any bullies, and the rejuvenation of the Chinese nation was unstoppable. So this is an old phrase about the rejuvenation of the Chinese nation. But he also talked about bullies. So I think his symbolic message is one of, if provoked, this is what we do. And we want to choose peace, but if provoked, we will have to choose violence and we will have to choose war.
Okay, so a symbolic show of strength from your perspective. Now, do you see this as an alliance forming?
This is, at this stage, a symbolic alliance forming against the West. So among the three countries, China, North Korea, and Russia. And it's ultimately, a humiliation to President Trump, because just a couple of months ago, we saw President Trump shaking hands with President Putin. There's a lot of bromance going on, and some autocrats just cannot be trusted.
Okay. Now, what do these leaders stand to gain from aligning with one another?
Well, I think it's a showcase of strength that they will not be isolated and could be bullied individually, as Trump, tariffs has tried to do. So by coming together, and before that, you have President Modi from Prime Minister Modi from India as well. So this is all like showcase of alliance at the symbolic level on many different fronts.
How about for North Korea? It seems Kim Jong Un would have more to gain from this show of unity.
Yes, because I think Kim Jong Un, North Korea is the most isolated diplomatically among all the countries, right? So by inviting Kim Jong Un over, and he has hardly stepped out of Pyongyang, this is really lending him a lot of weight and credibility.
How might this meeting reshape the global power balance, especially in the context of US-China tensions and NATO-Russia tensions?
I think it's too early to draw any specific conclusion, because we have not seen any policies or resource allocation coming through. But at a symbolic level, it is, I think, pretty significant, and it could be the beginning of many things to come. So I think President Trump should draw some lessons from this.
Well, on that note, what should we be watching for next? Is this a one-off, or could this be the start of something more sustained and coordinated?
I think we should keep our eyes out on any sort of symbolic gesture coming out from China, from Russia, but also more concrete type of cooperation. So just last week, a bunch of leaders Beijing has met in Tianjin over the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. For a long time, SCO was a very symbolic organization that doesn't do very much. But now they are talking about all sorts of cooperation. So if this momentum of US trade tension with the rest of the world continues, we might see more of this alliance forming against the West. And is ultimately at the detriment of world peace.
Okay, Lynette, we appreciate your time today.
Thank you so much.
That's political scientist Lynette Ong.